So Saturday, March 16th, Josh Groban found out that maybe it's not a good idea to insult a large chunk of your fan base when he tweeted, CPAC stands for Conservative Politicians Attempting Comedy, right? But he didn't really stop there. After some of his conservative fans said, hey, that's not cool, I'm conservative and I'm a fan of yours, he tweeted out later that evening, I dissed their poor comedy chops and you should too, and he put the hashtag strike the gong. That naturally elevated things and got a little discourse going. One of the tweets tweeted out I have here from Brandon Morse at 5:46 p.m. Dude, don't ruin it for your conservative fans. And Michelle Malkin, naturally, all of this buzz got the attention of Michelle Malkin, and she tweeted out, why go out of your way to diss your conservative fan base? And that started a whole hubbub because that apparently to some was throwing a tantrum. Really? That's interesting. That's a tantrum. Why go, a simple question, why go out of your way to diss your conservative fan base? Like, hey, I'm a fan of yours, why are you insulting me? That's a tantrum. Okay, so I guess even though Ed Schultz called Laura Ingraham a slut, and I didn't really see much conservative backlash from that at all, and Ed Schultz got away with not so much as a slap on the wrist. Yet Rush Limbaugh used the same word, and they petitioned, they boycotted, they cried out to the sponsors saying, how dare you sponsor this man? He called a woman a slut, something that Ed Schultz did a while ago at MSNBC with no punishment. But this is a conservative doing it, so the rules are different. And the difference was that Ed Schultz did it completely unsolicited. He just wanted to insult Laura Ingraham, so he just called her a slut. Rush Limbaugh was actually making the point that, well, if this girl cares so much about sex, then that means that she's a slut, right? And you could say, well, that's not an excuse, and I agree, it isn't. But what I'm saying is at least Rush Limbaugh's had context, whereas Ed Schultz was just an unsolicited attack, just wanted to call a woman a slut. But that's okay with you liberals, because you traffic in hypocrisy all the time. And speaking of being offended, I mean, Greg Gutfeld wrote a whole book on the many offenses that you take every day. You're accusing everyone of intolerance all the time. It's called The Joy of Hate. You should check out that book. There's plenty of examples in there where liberals actually threw tantrums. But I just wanted to say, look, I like Josh Groban. Okay, so Josh, if you're watching this, you stood about like this far away from me in Boston when you came out to the crowd. I took my wife to see the show. She just bought your latest CD. I would hold it up, but she's out right now and she has it in the car because she listens to it all the time. Big fan of yours. You do have conservative fans. So with that in mind, now look, you can say whatever you want, okay? But conservatives can also say whatever we want. So this notion that we are throwing a tantrum when we respond to you offending us is just silly. We are not making a big public spectacle and crying out for, we're not going to, you won't see us standing outside your concerts with signs saying boycott Groban or anything like that. Now granted, there was some upset yesterday and people, including myself, said, fine, I just won't go to your shows. Well, that's a big difference from petitioning, say, your sponsors and trying to get money taken out of your... This is just about personal choice. This is just us saying, well, fine, if you're going to insult me, then I am not going to give my money to you. Do you see the difference between that and the liberals who actually went to sponsors of Rush Limbaugh's and had sponsors held a gun to, basically to sponsors. Oh, I said gun. Oh, that's a liberal no-no. I realize. Sorry. But basically held a gun to the sponsors of Rush Limbaugh's head and said, you better not sponsor him or there's going to be trouble. And they were like, okay, we don't want any trouble. There's a big difference between threatening sponsors and simply saying, I don't want to give my money to you because you insulted me. Now, look, a lot of those people, myself probably included, we were reacting. It might have been a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to say we're going to boycott you, because we probably won't. If my wife really wants to go see you in concert, I'm not going to say no, he insulted me about CPAC. It was one of those things that you say, but unlike liberals, at least most of us, we really don't mean it. Because we're not so bloodthirsty. We're not so sanguisugent for the blood of you liberals. Oh, like you are to Rush Limbaugh, and like you are all the time with your crazy ass left-wing hate groups. Okay, we don't play that way. We're actually nice people. Am I saying that by and large you're not? No, I'm not saying that. So don't put words in my mouth. I know that it's a shame that I have to actually say this, but I just know the way that liberals roll, and they'll take what I say out of context. Liberals aren't nice people according to this guy. No, but look, the people that went after Rush Limbaugh, the bloodthirsty that threatened his sponsors, they're not nice people. Okay, obviously. Josh Groban, I think that you're a nice guy. I think that you said something kind of dumb, but you have the right to say it. Okay? I would never, unlike liberals, I do not try to take away your free speech. Okay? Now, I will call you out. It's normal. If I'm insulted, if you say something to insult my ideology, why is it so outrageous that I'm going to defend my ideology and my belief system? Why is that throwing a tantrum? No, a tantrum would be if I threatened your sponsors, if I held signs up outside if I did something wacko like liberals do. But we don't generally do that. I realize there's a fringe in every group. There's wackos for all seasons, and there are a fringe of conservatives. But by and large, if we compared the two sides, I mean, come on. On the left, there are far more activist types who do crazy things like the aforementioned. Okay, but the long and short of it is this. When a celebrity on Twitter, like Eva Longoria calling conservative women the C word, that wasn't exactly nice. And then she gets I saw her just last week on Rachel Ray, and she gets welcomed with open arms. We have a right, first of all, to say, okay, we don't want to support you. I mean, that's our right. And it's not so wacko just to not support a particular celebrity who insults us. There's nothing weird about that. What's weird is going to sponsors and demanding blood. Okay, that is weird. But there's nothing so weird about me saying, okay, Eva Longoria, I don't want anything to do with you. Or whoever. I mean, personally, I don't get on these, I don't get into the boycott thing, typically speaking, and most of my conservative friends do not either. And I think most of the people, if they're your real fans yesterday, probably won't boycott your shows. They were just, you have to understand that conservatives, especially on Twitter, we're outnumbered. Okay, liberals dominate media in general, including Twitter. Liberals pounce. I mean, Andrew Breitbart, when he was still with us, he used to say, when confronted by hate, don't retreat, retweet. And his Twitter feed was made up of thousands upon thousands of hypocritical smears, calling him fag, okay, making homophobic remarks towards him, even though he's not even a homosexual. I was in this discourse with this woman defending Andrew Breitbart, and she kept saying, no, he's a homosexual. I'm going, no, he's not. He's married to a woman, and they have children. It's because Andrew Breitbart defended homosexuals that they assumed that he was gay. This is so hypocritical for your side. Because whenever you want to insult somebody, you actually use homophobic slurs. But you just accuse us of homophobia all the time, even though there's nothing to back it up. You accuse us of racism all the time with nothing to... There doesn't have to be anything to back it up. The left has somehow brainwashed everyone into thinking that all people on the right, you don't want to be painted with a broad brush, but you don't hesitate to paint everyone on the right with the broad brush that we're misogynist, racist, homophobic. I love this one. We're guilty of voter suppression. Okay, it's been widely proved that Democrats all over the country have gone into their local necropolis and registered dead voters like crazy. You cheated, okay, like crazy. But we are guilty of voter suppression because we want an ID just for a person to prove who they are when they come to the voting booth. That is just that doesn't rise to the level of the maturity level of a third grade booger eater. And it just speaks to your side. It doesn't speak well of your side. But look, all that aside, I just want to say the exchange between Josh Groban and the conservatives got a little out of hand because conservatives often feel like we're backed into a corner. And when you back even a puppy into a corner, you're going to get some gnashing of teeth. And you don't know what it's like because you automatically enjoy the benefit of the liberal media being on your side, of celebrities. Like name a popular, not somebody who's kind of marginal, but name one popular conservative celebrity. Yeah, you really can't, because when a celebrity says they're conservative, they become marginalized. They stop getting jobs. They're off to the side, and they barely dare to speak. They're intimidated. You people talk about bullies, but you don't look in the mirror. Okay? And that is why sometimes the reactions of conservatives are a little ferocious when backed into a corner. It's a matter of being bullied and feeling like, hey, we don't want to take this anymore. And then, but hypocritically, when we're just defending ourselves, you accuse us of throwing a tantrum. It's really cute, actually. But I just want to say that, look, getting down to brass tacks, I want to say that my wife and I are fans of Josh Groban. Like I said, I'll still go to Josh Groban concerts. I'm a grown-up. I won't boycott your shows, Josh. But what you said wasn't nice. It was an affront to me. It was an affront to other conservatives. Those are people we love. I looked forward to seeing the Conservative Political Action Committee on TV. I got a lot out of it. I thought it was very well done. There were some things that I didn't approve of too. But I don't deserve to be insulted, okay? Because I like CPAC, okay? CPAC stood for a lot of good things that I believe in, that I stand for. So if you insult me, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I don't look at that as throwing a tantrum. I look at that as having a spine. You just have a nice day.